Flu vaccines. That's right. You heard me last year. Flu vaccines are going to be a major topic. My headline is, don't trust feds on flu shot. And all I've got to do is ask you three questions, all of you skeptics of me, Savage, the skeptic of skeptics. You ready for it? Did Harry Reid take a flu shot? Did Barack Obama take a flu shot? Did Barack Obama's lovely family take a flu shot? Did Joe Biden take a flu shot? Did Nancy Pelosi take a flu shot? Which of the mandarins will take or took the flu shot? I'm talking specifically about vaccines related to the flu. I am not advocating the avoidance of all medicals or pharmaceuticals. As you know, I'm known for many of my books on herbal medicines, nutrition, etc. And I have acknowledged to you many times that I have been saved by an awful lot of life-saving regular medicines. But the flu vaccine, no, I wouldn't take it. Not everything your government tells you is true. So it's good to have a cynic in radio who questions authority. And I have nailed this diagnosis over and over again. Why do I tell you that I wouldn't take the flu vaccine? Well, I'll tell you in the next few minutes why, and over the next hour why, and why you should be very cautious of believing your local Rite Aid drugstore when they tell you, have you had your shingles shot? Have you had your flu shot? And I'm not singling out Rite Aid for any particular reason. It could be any drugstore chain. They're selling something. And as with all sales, not everything that is sold is honest. There's another story that's bothering me, and that is this. As you know, I oppose amnesty for many reasons. One of the reasons is the fact that the culture will change drastically in ways you can't imagine. And one of those issues is the fact that they're going to start slaughtering horses now in New Mexico for human consumption. Have you ever been in a slaughterhouse? Have you heard the animals scream as they're about to be killed? Have you heard the animals scream as they're about to be killed? Have you heard the animals scream as they're pushed down the slaughterhouse line, as they hear their mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters and children being killed in front of them? I have. And I'll tell you something, there is a difference between a horse and a cow. And the slaughter of horses for human consumption will legally resume in this country as early this week, following a decision by a New Mexico judge who dismissed the push by animal rights groups to stop the practice. U.S. District Judge Christina Armijo in New Mexico threw out a lawsuit by the Humane Society of the United States and other animal protection groups that allege the Department of Agriculture, blah, blah, blah. They're going to start killing horses in America. Why? Have you ever seen horses killed? You think they're unintelligent animals? You know, the practice of slaughtering horses for human consumption was legal and fairly common in the U.S. for a long while. But in 2005, Congress voted to withhold funding for USDA inspections of horse meat. It was the only way to stop the slaughter of animals, meaning horses, for human consumption, because they had to be inspected. Now, the measure to stop the slaughter of horses lapsed in 2011, and now U.S. companies tied to Mexico are clamoring to get back into the game. Tell me, who do you think eats horse meat? The people from Mexico eat horse meat. Did you understand why they're pushing it? Do you understand what I mean by borders, language, and culture? The plants are going to resume barbaric killing of horses for their meat in the states across America. And the American public has to recognize the urgency of the situation and demand that your fools in Congress take action. This is an issue of national importance and scale. Do you approve of the killing of horses for food? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the killing of horses for food? Do you have a flu shot horror story to tell the millions of listeners to the Savage Nation? 855-400-7282 is the phone number. If neither of these stories interest you, you are brain